me now. It's like it is being there, and I think the recording is being started, sir.
Okay.
Stop the transcription. Okay, sir. So today, if you remember, sir, what exactly was the batch data and the batch processing, sir? Do you remember we had a discussion on this, the batch data and the batch processing, sir?
Yeah.
So what exactly was that? Any idea? If you remember what exactly we discussed on that day?
So with batch processing,
Mm-hmm.
we are saying that um, we are ingesting in some data as a batch and then trying to process that.
Exactly, sir. Means if you remember, I gave you that example that how exactly how exactly you just have to how exactly you just have to go through. That means that when the data is being generated at one particular source, sir, okay, the data is being generated at one particular source. Now after that, sir, when we talk about this particular source,
Yeah.
how exactly do we transport that particular data to the consumer? Because it's not necessary that wherever the data is being generated, we gonna be using the same, we gonna be using the same, sorry, the data will be utilized at the same place. It's not necessary. I might have to transport that data to I might have to transport the data to a particular place. Now, how do I do that? Is it like when the data is being generated at the source, I'm just collecting it over there, I'm using a storage to collect it over there, and then after that I'm moving it to a place. Okay, after that I'm moving it to a place, and I actually have to store it over there as well. Okay, and then after that I worked on it. I'm sorry. Okay, so what happens is that is being considered as batch data, sir, where I am actually collecting the data, putting it over here. Okay, I'm actually collecting the data, putting it at one particular place, then transporting it into that particular collected mode only, and then at the end of the day I'm processing that particular data with the help of any processing devices. Okay, now sir, whenever we work with batch data, okay, whenever we work with batch data, that particular, okay, whenever we work with batch data, that particular batch data is that particular batch data will always be using a lot of storage, sir. Okay, will always be using a lot of storage. So the issue over here is that it's not compulsory, sir. It's not compulsory that whenever you are working for whenever you are working with batch data, that means you're gonna be using that particular uh, you will actually require to keep it or store it at one particular place. No, that's not compulsory. But in ideal situations, whenever you get the collected data, it's always required. Okay, it's always required by you to go ahead and it's always being required by you to go ahead and put it at one particular storage and then use it at at your luxury time. So is this like the batch data and batch processing is quite clear to you, correct?
Yes. Yes. The concept is clear to me. Yes.
Concept is clear to you. Okay. Now, sir, I'll just quickly, before my demonstration starts, I just quickly walk you through the presentation of this particular module. Okay. So that we are done with the theory, and then we'll move ahead and we'll move ahead and we'll complete the demonstrations for this. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
So quickly, let me know if the screen is visible to you. Sir, is my screen visible to you?
Sorry, on mute. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sir. So this is what exactly we're gonna be doing now. Whatever we have already covered, sir, you can understand that what exactly a data brick is. You're already aware of what exactly a Azure data brick is, correct? It's a compute resource. Okay, now in this particular module we'll see that how exactly you can actually make use of this particular compute resource to read the data in the batch mode. Means when the data is being collected and put it at a storage location, how exactly you can read it from there and how exactly you can process it around. So that's what our intention is now. Now the number of this particular module is module number 3, sir. Okay, the number is module number 3. Now this is the agenda. First of all, we have to understand Databricks. Then after that, how to read and write data in Databricks, work with data frames in Azure Databricks, and work with data frames advanced methods in Azure Databricks. These are the 4 topics which we're going to be discussing as part of this particular slide deck. Now, understanding Azure Databricks. Sir, do you remember remember that I told you that Azure Databricks is a particular resource which can actually be used by data engineers and data scientists both.
Yes.
Correct. I even show you that there are some libraries which are very useful for data scientists and there are some libraries which are very useful for data engineer. So this particular resource can actually be used by both the data professionals. Okay, and that's been quite evident over here that you can actually use it for the data engineer as well, and that can be used by the data scientist as well. Okay, now what exactly Databricks can do? Now Databricks can have an easy integration services to the different Azure services available. Okay, it's possible, sir, it's possible that I can actually connect my Azure Databricks services to Data Factory, Snaps Analytics, Power BI, and Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Okay, it's
Yeah.
quite easy to associate or to integrate Databricks and the other available resources, sir. Now, in a real term, sir, in a real term, what happens is that let's say that the data is actually there on Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Then from there you are actually reading it, processing it through Databricks, and then after that you are sending it to Power BI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it might be that you are actually reading the information. You are actually reading the information from the data lake, and after processing, you are actually loading that particular data to Azure Snaps Analytics. So integrations are possible, sir. There is no limitation on the integration. The only thing which you have to do is you just have to write the code. Okay, you just
Okay.
have to
Yeah.
write the code. Now you can see over here, sir, that these are the runtime environment which are available for ML, sir. See,
Data
like you have,
scientist.
yeah, data scientists, like you have
Mm.
Java, you have .NET and all those things. So we
Yeah.
have some special runtimes available for data scientists because they actually have to run this machine learning programming. Correct. So these are the few runtimes which are embedded already into Databricks. You can start using them whenever you want.
So basically, what we are saying is
Mm-hmm.
ML runtime. That is kind of a API that's running, but ML Flow and Azure Machine Learning are the kind of front end
Mm-hmm.
uh, that are running, that are actually embedded by one of these PyTorch or TensorFlow or uh, Scikit-learn. Is that
Sir,
what we are saying?
sir, I'll tell you what exactly we are saying over here. What happens is, sir, that okay, you decided that you decided that I, as a data scientist, that you will be using Databricks as your tool to write your machine learning models. Okay,
Yeah.
to write your predictive models, you want to choose Databricks, sir. Now, definitely, sir, when we talk about uh, the models which you have to write,
Yeah.
models will be written in one of the programming language only. Correct?
Okay. Yeah.
The models will be written in one of the programming language only. But that programming language, what we gonna be using, can actually use this ML runtime, sir. Python code can actually be executed with the help of PyTorch as well, TensorFlow
mm,
as well, and scikit-learn as well. Now, problem like the difference between these three is that they provide you functions, sir. They provide you different kind of functions. Okay,
okay.
now
Yeah.
functions means, let's say that you would like to do a moving average. You would like to calculate a moving average. So which one of them is being providing you the perfect function or the easiest function to calculate the moving average of some data? So
Yeah.
these ML runtime will actually helps you with the supportive functions, and like all of them are very famous. But what happens, sir, that when you get into this field of machine learning, na, people just pick one of them and they work on it.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Okay, so it's like that, like you are a programmer, sir. Now when
Yeah.
you are a programmer, you know programming, but that doesn't mean that you are comfortable in Java as well, and that doesn't mean that you are comfortable with .NET as well. It can be
Okay.
that you are just comfortable in one of them, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if you go down and talk logic, sir, the same thing, both of them are doing the same thing, na. They're just giving you instructions to implement your logic. All the programming languages does the same, but they all have their own different advantages and different disadvantages. So in the same way, if you would like to work on if you would like to work on machine learning concepts, then these are the ML runtime which are available. And the good thing is that all these three are embedded in Databricks. So anyone if you are actually using any one of them, okay, if you are actually using any one of them, then also you will be uh, uh, then also you will be, you can choose Databrick because all of them is being available. Then you have already seen, sir, that the optimized Databrick runtime engine, in the Databrick runtime engine, okay, in the Databrick runtime engine, you are this the Databrick IO is being available. Delta Lake, you remember you studied about Delta Lake in the first module. We
Yeah.
implemented the Delta Lake. Then
Yeah.
Spark engine is definitely there. And then we have a serverless option as well, but the serverless option is completely obsolete now. We don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the the structural architecture of Azure Databricks, sir, that how exactly things is being there. And frankly speaking, in this particular course, we were actually be dealing with this section only, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we were actually not being dealing in this section because this is not under our.
Uh, Data engineer area.
Exactly, we don't work on all these things. Okay, so here Databrick is a compute resource which has an easy connectivity and easy integration facility for Azure Data Lake Storage and Power BI and Azure Synapse Analytics. Then after that we have, like in the optimized Databrick runtime engine, you the Databrick IO is being available. Delta Lake is also an option which is being embedded. Then Spark engine is being available. That's the main master mind of that particular runtime engine, Spark version and the Spark Scala version. So all those things is being available in Databrick. Now, once this is being done, sir, okay,
Yeah.
now we can actually read and write this information, sir. Now, the good thing about Databrick is, Raj, sir, that it's raw. You know what is the advantage of using a thing which is raw means? You might have noticed, sir, that sir, do you have experience working on DOS operating system?
Yes.
Anytime you might have worked on it, correct? Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Frankly speaking, don't you think that the kind of computers we used to have at that point of time, DOS operating system was very fast, correct?
Yeah.
Means I understand that comparative to today, like if we'll compare it to today, the systems are very fast now because the configurations are so high. But don't you think, sir, that as far as the operating system is being considered, like operating system is being concerned, and considering the amount of hardware configurations we used to have at that point of time, the DOS was very fast, correct?
Yeah.
Any reason, sir?
Um, DOS is like basically command line. It's not using any user interface.
Exactly.
Uh,
You're right, sir. It was not using any user interface, sir. Over there, the things are raw, correct? A line of a script is being written and that has to be executed. It's not being coming from anywhere, correct? It was
yeah,
not giving any comfort to anybody. If you want to work on DOS, sir, and if you want to change the directory, you actually have to write CD and the name of the directory, correct?
yeah,
So computer knows that this is something which I have to do, and that's why it is fast. So what happened over here, sir? Like what happens over here is that same happens with Databricks, sir. Now Databricks provides you an environment where everything has to be done with the help of code, sir.
yeah,
There is no UI available over here. Okay. Now, if you have to connect to any of the programming, like if you have to connect to any of the storage resources, you can do that. If you have to read different types of file, you can do that because
yeah,
UI is not available. Means whatever you want to do, you should have a capability of writing the piece of code for that, and the code will get executed. Correct?
yeah,
Simple. The code, I'll just execute the code and it works for me. Okay, so in the same way, sir, I can read the data from CSV, Parquet, like a Parquet, JSON, XML, YAML, whatever type of file you have, it can actually read data from there, sir. It supports multiple formats. Okay.
yeah,
Second thing, sir, as I already told you, it's very easy for us to integrate with several data services. Means I can actually connect it to data lake. In my example, sir, I will be like in my example, I'll be showing you how exactly we can connect that particular in like how exactly we can connect that particular data lake with Databrick. Okay. So
yeah,
integration to the different Azure services are also easy. And then you understand reading and writing by simple writing code in a shared notebook experience. You remember the notebook, sir? I've already explained it to you. What
yeah,
exactly a notebook is and why exactly we're gonna be using it.
yeah.
Correct. So I just have to write the piece of code. I don't have any restrictions in the read and write of the file because I have to write code for everything. Everything is being raw in front of me. Okay. So I don't have to just wait for some configuration to happen and then only things will be done. No, just do it at your level. So that's how we read and write the data. Now working with data frames, sir. Now I told you like I told you, sir, if you remember the example that you have worked with C sharp, sir. Now in the C
Yeah.
sharp on very on a very frequent basis in C sharp on very frequent basis you were actually being on very frequent basis you actually write a function called print, correct? Print
Mm,
this, print that, do this, do that, or log this, log that. Now I'm just using these functions. Where exactly these functions are written? They are written as part of a library, and that library is actually being imported in your application, and importing that means that I will be using it. The
mm,
functions inside that particular library, I'll be using it in my program. Now, in the same way, when you're working with Azure Data Brick, data frames, frankly speaking, sir, data frames does not have any relationship with Azure Data Brick. Data frames are actually available at Spark level.
okay.
So anybody who's been using Spark, sir, they'll be able to use data frames.
Okay.
Okay.
So when I'm uh, using Python or any other language, this
Mm-hmm.
frame, data frame will not be available.
No, 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 sir.
Okay.
Sir, Python in like in Python also data frame will be available, sir. See, what happens is, sir, please try to understand this. That there are three things. First is framework. Okay, I'll just write it frame. Then we have a library, and then we have a programming language. Okay, sir. Now let's
Mhm.
consider in this example, sir, I'm talking about three things. Okay, framework, library, and programming language. Now, sir, let's say the programming language you are using is Python.
Mm.
Okay, the library you want to use is data frame, and framework on which this will like the framework on which this will be executed is Spark.
Okay.
Okay, now, sir, you'll write your business logic in Python. Okay,
Yeah.
you'll write your business logic in Python, and Python is a compatible language that can be executed on Spark. Okay, now
Yeah.
that can be executed on Spark framework. So in Python, when you are writing the code, you actually require some functionality, sir. Correct?
Yeah.
You actually require some functionality. So those functionalities, now you know that if I would like if you know that if I would like like if I would go ahead and make use of this if I yeah, like I if I would go ahead and make use of data frame library or data frame API to to read and manipulate this particular data, then definitely it will be very easier for me to write the code.
Mm.
Okay, it will be very easier for me to write the code. So what will happen, sir, that I will actually be using the functions available in this particular library. But to use that, sir, compatibility between framework and library has to be there. I cannot
Okay.
use it if there is no compatibility between the library and the framework. Now please understand this, sir, that these three things will always work hand in hand. Just give me a minute, sir, just a minute.
Okay.
Sorry for the disturbance, sir. Okay,
No problem.
now what happens, sir, that right now, and many of us will have this confusion, sir. Please understand that Spark is a framework on which a programming language will be executed, sir. Okay, framework provides
Yeah.
an executable environment for the programming language. Now, programming language will itself be using some libraries. Okay, and they
Yeah.
can only see, let's say I have written my code in Python and I want to execute it in this particular framework called Spark, but I have used data frames. So I cannot use data frame as long as Spark does not support it, sir. Because at the end of the day, I have to execute my code on Spark only. And
Yeah.
if Spark does not identify those functions or Spark does not identify those libraries, then definitely my code will never run, sir. It's a total failure.
Okay.
Okay. Now, please see this, sir, that what exactly is being happening. Now, this particular piece of code over here, sir, on your particular screen here,
Yeah.
this is the piece of code which is actually being written in Python only.
Okay.
Okay, but can you please can you name the function? Can you name the function through which you were can you name the function of data frames over here? What exactly is the name of the function of data frame?
Data frame reader.
This one, sir.
Dot read. Yeah.
Correct? So what
Yeah.
exactly I'm saying? I'm saying that this is a variable. This is a variable. Okay.
Yeah.
Over here, spark.read.paraquet means that we actually wants to read a parquet file. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
saying that please read spark.read.parquet file, and then I have passed this location from where we have to read it.
Okay.
This is the location.
Directory.
See, yeah, correct. I've stored all the location in this, and then I have passed this particular like a parameter to dot read. Okay,
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
passed this parameter to dot read. So what exactly am I doing over here? Okay, what exactly am I doing over here? I'm actually making use of the data frame functions in Python and executing it upon Spark.
Yeah.
Now, is it clear, sir? What
Yeah.
exactly a data frame is and all those things?
Yeah.
Okay, now, sir. Okay, now, sir, see, data frames are this read and write, and all these things are very simple. Correct, sir? Read, write,
Mm.
and functions are available, but that's not all, sir. Over here, sir, data frame actually offers you a lot of advanced functions. A lot of advanced functions is being offered to you. Now, time date manipulation is possible. Enable different time date techniques to use across data frames. Let's say you would like to manipulate some time and date which has been given to your data. You have so many functions available with you to manipulate your time and date. Now, if
Mm.
you would like to go for some mathematical calculations like group by functions, sum, count, average, min, max, moving average, all these things can be calculated straight away, sir. You don't have to do anything. Let's say you would like to take average of five units. Just pass those 5 units to a function called average, and the average will be returned to you. You don't have to write code to calculate the average.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, then deduplicating of data, removing duplicates by ensuring you only keep one record. Now that's even possible. Let's say that you are loading some data and you don't want duplicate data to be added into your data set. So at that point of time, advanced data frame functions are available by the use of which you can avoid the duplication of data straight away.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens, sir? Now if somebody gives you these kind of tools, so don't you think, sir, it will be easier for you to write your business logic, because you don't have to write logic for everything, correct?
Yeah.
So data frame, like there are like this data frame advanced methods, it's being available, and in your labs you will actually be using them a lot. Okay, now, sir, I actually wants to give you a demonstration in which I will configure the data brick first. Then I'll create an Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. I'll put a
Mm.
file in that, and then with the help of the code which I will be writing on the notebook, I will actually be reading that particular file, and I'll be reading that particular file and I'll be manipulating that particular file in Databrick. Okay,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
means I will be demonstrating how exactly Databrick and Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 can be integrated, correct?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
how the data read can be done. Okay, so this is what do we have. So I just have to, any questions till now, sir? I hope you are able to understand the like idea behind this, sir.
Yes. So I mean, uh, Spark is a framework that is using uh, that is sitting behind that's like an execution engine that's actually
Yes,
providing the framework for running the code.
yes.
Yeah, data frame, obviously, we are executing our code inside that, and data frame are providing like the all the operations, all the um, I mean all the functions can be executed inside a data frame.
Hmm. Exactly.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah. That is what
So
I understand so far. Yeah.
no, but you understood it correct, sir. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just stop sharing my screen and I'll share
Yeah.
the Azure portal with you, sir, now. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Discard this and we'll so we'll just now, sir, I've just now shared my screen with you, and here we'll start our demonstration now.
Okay.
For the
Cool.
demonstration, sir, for the demonstration, first of all, I require Azure Databricks, correct? Now,
Mm-hmm.
what exactly is the first thing what we're gonna be creating if I have to work on Azure Databricks? The workspace, correct?
Yeah. The workspace. Yes.
Yeah,
Workspace and
cluster and other things.
clusters. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll quickly create the workspace. We have already discussed the creation of the workspace, correct?
Yeah.
So I just have to select my subscription, and then after that I just have to create a resource group for today's class. Let's say DP203. DP203, it's uh, 3012 2021, and here we go. Okay, then I just have to provide the name. Let's say sample hyphen DW, like hyphen DBW Databricks workspace. Sandeep is there, and I would like to create this in the East US, and I would like to go ahead and create it in the premium mode as well. So once this is being done, I'll simply click on review, and once my validation is being passed, I'll go ahead and create my workspace. Okay, yes. So now my workspace will be created. Okay, and once my workspace is being created, then I'll go ahead and create the cluster. Then after that, I'll create a notebook, and in that particular notebook, I will be writing a piece of code. And with that particular piece of code, I'll actually be okay. I'll actually be I'll actually go ahead and write a piece of code over there, and once that code will get executed successfully, then you you'll be able to see that I'm actually connected to the data lake and I'm able to read the file from there. Okay, and the type of file which we're gonna be reading will be a JSON file, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So the workspace is actually being deployed. I'll click on go to the resource. Okay, the workspace is deployed. Click on go to the resource and launch the workspace. You remember these process, sir? I think this is something which we have already done once. That's the reason why I'm going
Yes.
little fast.
No, no,
Correct?
no, I remember all this. Yeah.
Yes, you remember all this, correct? So
Yeah.
now I will be creating a cluster, sir. Okay, and
Okay.
once
Yeah.
my cluster will be created, then I will be writing a piece of code in the notebook, and then I
Notebook.
will
Yeah.
actually be doing it.
Execute.
So over here, my workspace is being launched. I'll just go ahead and click on new cluster, and I
Yeah.
will be creating a cluster now. Okay,
Yeah.
so we just have to go through these simple steps to create the cluster. I'll say sample is the cluster. The runtime environment I would like to go for is 8 point. Let's just go ahead with 8.4. Okay, I would like to enable auto scaling, but the maximum which I would like to put is 4. Okay, and this should be the same only. This is the bare minimum resources which I can take as part of the worker and the driver type. And I'll click on create cluster, and my cluster is actually getting deployed. Okay,
Yeah.
now Raj sir, as of now, okay, this is this is, what do we say, uh, meanwhile this cluster is getting deployed, sir, I actually have to read the data from a data lake, sir. So I need to have a data lake for that, correct? I
Yeah.
need to have a data lake for that. So what I'll do, sir, that I will be going ahead and creating a data lake. Okay, I'll be going ahead and creating a data lake on my Azure portal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so data lake, sir. If you remember when I explained you about the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, I told you that this is nothing but an advanced version of an storage account only. Okay, that is nothing but an advanced version of an storage account. Storage account does not allow you to create directories or to create folders inside their container, but Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 allows us to create folders or structures inside the containers. That's the only difference between Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 and storage accounts. But Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 is not an individual service, sir. Now, if you'll try to find out over here, let's say somebody asked you that, Raj, go ahead and create Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, and you started typing it over here. Azure Data Lake, Azure Data Lake Storage. Can you see the data lake storage Gen 1 is there, but no
Yeah.
Gen 2 is there, correct?
Yeah.
Now, you know why this is the reason, sir? You can see that there is
Uh,
nothing with this on the marketplace as well.
it's embedded into the storage account.
Exactly, sir. You got it very correctly. It's actually embedded into the storage account only. So I just have to go inside the storage account, and I just have
Yeah.
to click on create new, even
Yeah.
though the whole process is the creation of storage account only. But by
Yeah.
checking one option, hierarchical namespace option, I'll actually be able to create Azure Data Lake only. So here we
Yeah.
are. I just selected the subscription of mine. I am putting everything under this resource group only. Then I
Yeah.
just have to select the name. Let's say I would like to go ahead with sample EDLS Sandeep. Means sample Azure Data Lake Storage Sandeep. Would like to
Yeah.
put it in East US. Then definitely what kind of performance am I expecting? If you're looking for some premium performance, then if I'll select the premium one, definitely SSDs will be associated with your storage account,
Okay. Yeah.
and that will be a very swift read and write operation we're gonna be doing. Okay, then after that, sir, we have standard means that general purpose thing, like I'm not doing anything so specific over here. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything so specific over here. I'll just be doing some general activities, and I don't want to go for some premium something. Sir, understand this, sir. The selection of standard and premium will definitely impact your cost, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
after that, sir, I just have to select the option for redundancy. Now, what exactly the redundancy is? Redundancy means where exactly you are keeping your backup.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, definitely, sir, there is no option to avoid backups. Now, here are four options available to you, sir. You can just read this option and you'll get to know, are they asking you whether you require backup or not? Are,
Uh,
are
yes,
they?
I think with this, what's gonna happen is
Hmm,
when we say geo redundant storage,
hmm.
yeah, it's it's actually being stored somewhere as well, not just in one location.
Yes. Now, what happens over here, sir? That the question which Microsoft Azure is asking me over here is not whether I want backup or not.
Mm,
Definitely, backup will be done, sir. There is
yeah,
no opt out from the backup. But the option which they are giving me is that, like, the option which they are giving me over here is that you can actually select the location where you want to keep it. Okay.
yeah,
Now over here, sir, we just want to select the location over here. Now if I go for locally redundant storage, sir, then it will keep my like data onto the same onto the same data center where my original data is being kept. So definitely this can only protect me from rake failure, because
yeah,
if my data center failure happened, then both my backup as well as my primary data is gone, correct?
yeah.
Then after that we have this ZRS as well. Okay. Now ZRS means zone redundant. Now this means that I just want you to put my data to the nearby data center only in the same region. Please don't put it outside the same region. Okay. Please don't put it outside the region. Now the next one is GRS, geo redundant storage. Now that means that if you gonna be putting it in the East US, if the original data is in the East US, then I want my data to be placed in West US. That means completely outside the region. So if something happens to the complete region as well, still my data is being available with me to access it.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely, sir, the selection over here will also impact the cost. If you'll go for GRS or ZGRS, then definitely they are little costly. But if you'll go with LRS, that is the most cost lowest cost option. Okay. So let's
Okay,
say I'll
but
just go ahead and put LRS only. Okay, I
mm-hmm,
selected LRS. Then after that, I'll just move to this advanced tab, sir. I'll just move to
mm,
this advanced tab, and in the advanced tab, I have this option. Now, sir, if I'm not checking this option of hierarchical namespace, then I'll not be able to create Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2.
mm-hmm,
At that point of time, I'll only be able to create normal storage account.
yeah,
Okay, so this option gives me an opportunity. This option gives me an opportunity that how exactly the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 can be created. So I'll click on create, and it will
yeah,
review all my all my selections. Review is being done. I'll click on create, and this will be done. Okay. Now we
mm-hmm,
just have to wait for this Azure Data Lake storage to get created, sir. After that, I'll create a container on this Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, and then I'll upload a file on that particular container. Okay, and then I'll actually read that particular file through Databrick workspace. Okay,
yeah,
sir, is the objective of this demo clear to you? Are you connecting the dots? What exactly am
yes,
I doing? Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
very
clear to
important,
me.
sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, and don't hesitate. If let's say I've explained you for half an hour and then you think that okay, this is something which we discussed half an hour back, but I'm not clear with it, frankly ask it, sir.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to hesitate because that's the beauty of one-on-one, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go to the resource. Now you can see, sir, that on Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, I can create file shares, I can create message queues, I can create Azure tables, and I can create containers as well. So as a data engineer, sir, the maximum use you're gonna be doing is of containers only. Okay. Container
Mm.
is a place where you can hold any kind of data, sir. XYZ, any kind of data, audio, video, JSON, text, PDF, doc, anything. It does not prevent anything.
Okay.
Okay. Now, first of all, I just have to create the container first, sir. And let's say I have created a container with the name called data. Okay. Then after that, I just have to select the public access level. Now, over here, I just have to select whether I would like to create a Azure, sorry, I would like to create this container with anonymous access or without anonymous access. Anonymous access
Okay.
means anybody can read the information. No authentication, no authorization is being required. Okay. I said
Yeah.
no, I don't want to because that's not the ideal scenario. Nobody will create these kind of anonymous containers nowadays. Okay. So I'll say private. I don't want any anonymous read from this particular container. And with this, I'll click on create.
So,
Done.
storage container, is it same as a blob?
Yes, sir. This
Yeah.
is, see,
So
understand.
that's for completely storing the non-relational
Yes,
data like
yes,
uh, files and video, audio, whatever we want to store.
yes, whatever, sir. You can see, sir. I go inside this particular data container now.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you see this option of upload?
Yes, upload anything we want, file
Anything,
or anything,
anything, sir.
PDF, anything, document, Word.
Anything. Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Now I'll just choose one thing over here. And this upload is not manual, sir. Means if you want
Mm-hmm.
to upload it through an application, let's say you have written a program. Now
Mm-hmm.
in that program, you have written a logic that the program will get connected to an Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, go inside
Mm-hmm.
this particular container and load the data. Now that is
Yeah,
also possible, sir.
yeah.
Okay. So we'll just go over here and inside the log files, I am uploading a file called preference.json, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now see this. Now I have a Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 created. I have a container on that with the name of data, and inside that data container, I have a file called preference.json. That's a JSON file. Okay,
Yeah,
got it, sir?
yeah.
Now, what I'll do, sir, I'll go back to the data brick now. My things are done. My container is ready, sir. With this green dot, you can see that my container is ready. Now, once my container is ready, sir, I would go ahead and create a notebook then. Let's say I'll click on user and I would like to create a user specific
Mm.
notebook. And then I just have to provide the name of the notebook over here. Let's say I would like to choose the default programming language of this particular notebook as Scala.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I would like to connect it to the sample cluster. Okay. Done. And I would create it. Now, once this creation of this particular is being done, what exactly I'll be doing, sir? I have a file with me which has some piece of code for me. Now, I'll come back over here and this is the piece of code. Now see, you can see, sir, 3 lines of code is there.
Yeah.
Just 3 lines of code. Now with this 3 line of code, sir, I'll actually be making use of my data frame functions. Okay, I'll actually
Yeah.
be like data frame functions, and through that particular data frame functions, I will read the information from that particular JSON file which is being kept on an Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
but before to that, sir, I have to establish the connection first, correct?
Yeah.
And if you remember, when I was creating my container, sir, and that was the intention of mine when I was creating the container, you remember I created my container with no anonymous access.
Yeah.
Remember, I created the
Yes.
container with no anonymous access. That means anybody who's not authorized to read the data, or anybody who's not being able to prove its authority over there, then definitely they'll not be able to enter my data lake,
That's
or
right.
they'll
Yeah.
not be able to container. So what do I
Yeah.
have to do, sir? First of all, I need to make arrangement for the authentication. How
Mm-hmm.
do I make arrangement for the authentication? That is something which I'm doing as part of this particular line of code, sir. Over here, I'm actually setting up a configuration. In that particular configuration, what I'll do is, just give it a minute. What I'll do is I'll just go to the data, and first of all, I'll take the name, or like I'll copy the name of this particular Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Okay. I'll go back to that particular data brick of mine, and I'll replace that name over here. Okay. Can you see fs.azure fs.azure.account.key, that I will actually be setting up the account key for this particular Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Now,
Okay. Yeah.
from where I can get the key, I have to go back over here, and I just have to click on access keys. Okay, I just have to click on access keys. Now, over here, show keys, and I have to copy this key of mine, and I will be using this key in this code over here, sir. Now, with this first line, sir, the connection will actually be established with the help of this access key. And because now I have the access key from that particular storage account, sir, and that particular Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, now it will not stop me to read the information. Correct?
Yeah.
Next is, sir, that I just have to declare the location of the file. Now, the location of the file is, first of all, I have to provide the name of the container. Now, the name of the container is, if I'll remove all these things, and the name of the container is data. Okay. Sorry, name of the container is data. Name of the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 is the same which we already copied. Then after that, we don't have any folder path, because if I'll go to this particular container, then do you have any folder path, sir? Or I have just put this preference.json on the root folder only.
Yeah. There's no directory created in
Sir,
this one.
yeah, there's no directory created, sir.
Yeah.
Now what happens is that then I just have to remove this folder path option. I'll remove it. And at the end, sir, I just have to provide the name of this particular file which I'm trying to read. Okay. Now I'll replace this name of the file as well. Here we go. Now, sir, what exactly is being happening in this last line, sir? In the last line, sir, I'm actually making use of a data frame function called read. You remember, sir, spark.read.format. Then I can give n number of options I want. I want headers to be true. I want delimiter is comma. And at the end, I'm using two functions called dot load file location. Means from this particular file location, please load a JSON file into this variable called df. Now, if I'll execute this piece of code, sir, and nothing, if everything went well, then I'll be able to read the data from there, sir. Okay, I didn't get any error, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get any error. I got connected to the data lake and I have read that particular file.
Yeah.
Now my complete file is inside this variable called df, sir.
Okay.
Now see this, sir, how easy it is. Now that's what exactly. Now you would like to see the file. just type df.show. Show is a function which helps you display what do you have in your variables. Now that is also a data frame function.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see the file, sir? The file is being
Yes.
displayed on it. Now
Yeah.
let's say, sir, that this data is messy, correct? So much of
Mm.
data is there. You actually wants to pick some specific things. So what you can do, sir, we have a piece of code for that as well. And what exactly we're gonna be doing is that this piece of code, this 2 lines of code will actually select the specific data for you. Now see this. What exactly am I doing over here, sir? I'm doing that variable specific column df is equals to df dot select first name, last name, gender, location, page, and then specific column df dot show. So it will show you that some data is being created. Can you see, sir? Now I'm only able to
Yeah.
see 5 columns, correct? Now, sir,
Yes.
let's say that you don't like this page column. So what you can do, you can write a piece of code to do that as well. Okay, to change the name of the column can also be done. Here we go. And if I'll execute this code, now variable rename column df, then you have a function called with column renamed. Provide the older name and the newer name
Mm-hmm.
and run this piece of code. Now, can you see, sir, that the column called page over here is being changed to bike preference?
By preference. Yeah.
So, what exactly am I doing, sir? I'm actually reading up the information. I'm actually reading up the information from data lake. The file which I'm reading is a JSON file, okay? And it is being kept on Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, and I did it with the help of Databricks, sir.
Yeah.
Correct? Now, sir, as I've written it, I can manipulate this file and I can just save it back to the data lake only by df.write. Okay. Now, n number of functions can be applied over here, sir. N number of functions. Hundreds of functions are available as part of df, sir. Data frames. Okay. Raj, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what exactly we have in module number 3, sir. And if you have any questions for me, sir, request you to please let me know. We'll definitely we'll cover it up in like I'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you, sir.
Okay. So can we look at the queries once again?
Yes, sir. We can.
So what we have done is we have created Azure data lake
Mm-hmm.
container,
Mm-hmm.
and then we are reading the contents which are in the
In that
uh,
container,
how,
sir.
how much sorry what are the contents of that file
Mm-hmm.
uh, in I mean that is the data source for us,
Yes, sir.
and we are trying to in we are not we are trying to ingest data into the Spark cluster,
Yes.
and
Then try.
using the
Then
notebooks we are
yes.
processing the data.
Yes, sir. That's what we did.
Okay.
Okay. And
Yeah.
we have also seen some examples of data manipulations as well. Okay.
Yeah. And manipulate data as per I mean so once we are reading it, it's
Mm-hmm.
coming into the DF, right? Okay. Okay. DF DF is kind of a data set. Uh,
So df is just a variable, sir.
just a variable. Okay. We are
Yeah,
bringing
it's
everything into that variable and then working with that variable to. Uh, so I mean this data.
Mm-hmm.
can now be used by data engineers and say data scientists as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so data scientists use the data first or data engineers?
Mm, sir, actually, this is something which is more for a data scientist first, sir.
Okay, and I mean from the data engineering side, what are the things that we can do as a I mean say if my roles and responsibilities wise.
Mhm. Like, I'm sorry, sir. Can you please repeat the question? I didn't get it actually correctly.
So from the data engineering side, what if I have this data with me?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that I can do? Uh,
Now, sir, see, first of all, as a data engineer, this gives you a flexibility to work on any kind of data, correct?
yeah,
Now, as a data engineer, just now with the example which I have shown you, this example is dealing with a JSON file, sir, correct? And JSON file is a
yeah,
semi-structured data. It's not a
yeah,
structured data, correct? Then
right,
over here, sir, let's say that you are getting hundreds of these kind of files, correct? And
yeah,
your client, a data analyst or a data scientist, wants to work on these files, but these files are not in proper order. These files are not in proper shape. So a data engineer will write a business logic which will actually correct these files and bring them into a proper shape so that a data analyst or a data scientist can actually start working on them without
okay,
doing any data preparation activities, sir.
okay. Say,
Now,
say for example, if I want to bring in uh, if I have two or three files
hmm,
and I want to actually work with those two, we are reading data from only one file, right? We are creating a variable to read the data from single file.
yes.
Can we do that to read from multiple files and
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
definitely, sir. See this. Sir, everything is being possible. Just a minute. You see over here that preference.json. If I'll write start.json, it will read all the files, sir,
okay, into DF, and then
into DF, sir.
I can use a query like to read the columns from different files, JSON
Yes,
files.
yes, sir.
Okay, got it. And if there are multiple sources, like say it's not just a JSON file, it's a Word document or Excel, and then there's a JSON
So, like, if there are multiple sources, then I just have to
formats,
write,
multiple
yeah, yeah,
formats.
the multiple formats are, then I definitely have to read them separately, and then I have to write a logic to merge them together, sir, if I want. But
Okay.
see, the third line in my code which says that spark.read.format JSON, we have to
Mhm.
write these lines in multiple for separate format.
Okay, say where uh, we are saying variable df
Hmm.
is equal to spark.read format, but say if there's a Excel file say, or CSV, for example,
Yes, you just have to mention like dot format, pass CSV over there.
and there is a JSON file, multiple formats. If I want to read multiple formats,
Sir, what happened?
another line of code.
Sir, see, you can read multiple files of same format and keep them in one particular variable, sir.
Okay.
Okay, but if you are reading multiple formats, sir, then you won't be able to keep them under same variable. Let's say
Oh, got it. Okay.
df is equals to spark dot read, like spark dot read dot format JSON. This will read a JSON file for you. Now you have some CSV as well. Then you have to write df1 is equals to spark dot read dot format CSV. Okay, then all the CSV file will come under df1. Same df2 will read XML. So these kind of
Oh,
things are there, sir.
yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay,
So
sir?
I'm trying to explore all the options. I'm trying to see how
Definitely, sir,
anything.
definitely. Now, in your lab, sir, you will be
Yeah.
given a time to see different functions now. Okay?
Okay.
You're actually trying to read the batch data from somewhere, and then you will actually be doing like you will actually be reading the function.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now, sir, well, what would you say? Would you like to continue the lab activity, or would you like to take the coffee break now?
I'll take a coffee break. 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and then we can. I'll come back and start the lab activity.
Wonderful. So we'll just take a coffee break of 15 minutes now, and then we'll come
Yeah.
back on the same call, and we'll spend some time on the lab. And then after
Sure.
that, we'll talk about module number 11 as well. Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
See you in some time, sir. 15 minutes.
See.
I think that will be 3:50 my time. 3:50 p.m. my time, and yours will be not sure
10-5. 10-5.
10:05. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. See you.
Brilliant. See you in a bit. Cheers.
Thank you.
He first ran away from them. No, he wants this.
Daddy, bye వస్తావా?
Can I come with you?
అక్కనే ఉండు. Daddy, bye. Daddy, bye. Daddy, bye. Bye. Hi, Sandeep.
I'm back on the call, sir.
Yeah, I'm back as well. Indeed.
Wonderful. So let's just start with module number 3 lab exercise, sir. Okay. I'm here
Yeah,
on the call. Just let me know if you face some issues, sir. Okay. So let's just
yeah.
spend around 1 hour on it, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Sandeep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you want to share my screen and go through?
Yeah, yeah. You can share your screen, sir. Meanwhile, I'll
Yeah.
I'll keep on looking like whether you're doing it in the right or not.
Okay.
Sure. Sir, you have not shared your screen yet?
Oh, sorry, I thought I'm sharing my screen.
No.
Just a moment, sorry.
Sure. Yeah, it's visible now.
Shall I pick any or create one?
Mm, just a moment, sir.
Probably I can use this one.
I don't think, sir. You just have to be here, sir. You just have to
No,
clone. You just have to clone that and go through it, sir.
okay, this one, right?
Yes, just clone the. See, everything, the code is being written. You just have to review the code and run it, sir. That's all. Yeah. No, 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 just click on it. Click on it. You have already yeah. Click on this. Describe a data frame, sir.
Yeah,
Now, this is the notebook which they want you to go through.
yeah.
Just yeah, just
And run these, run these.
attach the cluster, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah. See, your cluster is not ready, sir. It's a black dot, correct?
Yeah.
So the cluster is terminated. So what you have to do is now you have to go to the computes. On the left hand side, the menu is there. Go to the compute and restart your cluster, sir, because your cluster is in the terminated state, so you won't be able to.
I've done it. Did you see that?
No, 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 sir. Okay, yeah, yeah, you have done it. You have done it. Yes, yeah. That's small green dot is there. So you just have to wait for your cluster to get restarted, sir.
Yeah.
Then only the code
Uh,
will get executed.
so when I clicked here, there was an option to restart cluster.
No, sir, it won't be here, sir. It won't be here. You will always find it in under compute, sir. On as well. No, no, not here, sir. Go down, go down. Under data, you have a compute menu. From here, you have to terminate or restart your cluster.
No, when I went into the workspace, see, I was here, right?
Mm-hmm. This is the
So
notebook.
here, when I clicked on here, there, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's starting now, but there was restart cluster here. There's an option.
There, but as of now, it's getting restarted now, so that option is being removed.
Yeah, that's
That
removed,
restart
but it
option
was
will
there
only
here.
come when you're yeah, it was also there, sir. But if anytime you don't find it over
Yeah, okay. Compute is the
here,
okay.
no, sir.
Let's wait for this one.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, the cluster is ready now. So I go back into
Yes, sir.
workspace
Yes.
and do this one here. Okay, and start executing the commands from top. Initialize classroom variables, data set are already mounted. Okay. This one here, source as entities as token get Azure data source. So in this notebook, we'll be using export data and develop an understanding of it as we progress. You can run more ls. ls is like list commands. Your data. Path source is equal to okay staging parameter and display files. So path is equal to source Wikipedia slash page counts staging quit and dbutils dot display files. Okay, there's a variable called files. We are reading everything into that or listing everything into that, and then we are using display files. If I'm not wrong.
Yes.
As we can see, the files listed above, the data is stored in paraquet files, okay, which can be read in a single command, the result of which will be a data frame. Okay? Paraquet to source plus, okay. We can read the paraquet files into a data frame. We will start with object Spark, an instance of Spark Vision, and entry point to Spark 2.0 applications. From there, we can access the read object. Okay, so so here we're saying page count and the Spark.read paraquet print. When we are saying print,
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Yes, sir.
did you say what's the other function?
That was show, sir.
So can I use here uh, show page counts
Yes.
en en all df?
But see if this works over here, because show is a function in Scala. So let's
Yeah.
see if that works in Python as well or not.
Okay. Can I? Okay. No, we will not change that. Let's see what happens. Run cell. Yeah. Okay. Take this off. Take this off. And uh, so if I want to write a new line here with within Scala,
Sir, if the code is already written in Python, if you would like to add a new line in Scala, sir, that will give you an error, sir, because the syntax will not be identified. I think that's what you are getting the error, sir. See, in
yeah,
the
it is.
same,
Yeah.
in the same cell, sir, you cannot write two piece like two codes, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the separate cell, you can do that.
If you look at API docs, count is described like this. Returns a number of percentage. Shall I move on to the next one then?
Sir, are you able to see the count?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. The count is being coming. That means everything is fine. You can move on to the next page now. Okay, lab is getting saved now. Sir, you can select this from the workspace as well. If you click on the workspace, sir, go to
This
click
one,
on the
right?
workspace. Yeah, second one you can select. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I already got it now.
Yeah, yeah.
Develop any activity data frame. Use common data frame. So it's saying this notebook is not attached to a cluster. Okay. Cancel.
Yeah.
Attach. And answer. Prepare the data source. Create the data frame. This is the one we created in the previous notebook. Okay. Paraquet dir is not defined. Is that because we did not run this one?
Yes, sir. That's the reason. Now run the second one, sir. Now it ran.
It's done. Execute a count on data frame as we did at the end of the previous notebook. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a count that's coming now. Caching options. So the ability to cache data is one technique for achieving better performance. Azure browser. I can require to read data from it. Caching moves the data into memory execute of syntax. Okay. So we're caching the data in the local executor that's called for instant access. That's done. If we rerun the command, it should take a significantly less time. So how much time did it take? Where is the 0.66 seconds, right? Okay. So we are running this again just to check uh, what it,
Yes.
how much it takes when we run it
Difference.
from the
The
cache.
difference. Yes. So it says that when you use different function, how
Yeah,
how different it is in terms of performance. Sir.
zero point 0.4 of uh, seconds. Okay, performance considerations. Then caching data here. placing it on purpose of cache. Print schema. Okay, this is the one, right? That's going to
Yes.
print. But this is just a schema. This is just a schema, but not the data.
Yes,
Like
sir.
what
This
are
is not.
the
Yeah, yeah. This is not the schema. Sorry, this is only the schema, sir, not the data.
project access by itself. We should now be able to see that we have four columns of data. Yeah, project, article, request, okay, Spark API. We already seen the command. Spark API homepage. Send Spark API document. Then new other documentation. That's in 3.2 is the latest.
Yeah, they just want you to go through this home page so that, like, if any time you are actually working with this and you would like to find out a place that where you can go and see the advanced functions. So here it is.
So this is all the documentation.
Yes.
So many functions. What is the sit rate? Is it T? And there's a C.
Sorry, sir, it's too small to see. But what exactly you're talking about?
So if you see here,
Mm-hmm.
there is a C. Class. Okay, this is a class. This one is a trait. There's a
Mm,
trait and there's a class.
okay, yeah, it's like interface, sir.
Yeah, this. Okay, got it.
Yeah, one trait is there and one class is there.
Okay, let's go back. So I need to go through all these things.
No, sir, it's just a reference given to you. Like
Okay,
read it like whenever you require it, type of thing, sir.
yeah. I'll go to the next one then.
Yeah, you can just finish that one as well.
So here we have these functions, produce actions, and then transformations. These are okay. So this. So there is a show here, same as in
Yes, sir. This is Scala, sir.
yeah, same as in what you've shown me in
Yes,
Python.
what? Yes, yes.
And display. Okay, here it's displaying in a table format. This is putting it across in raw format.
Exactly.
Here it's more like a table and then show versus display. Part of course path is specific to notebooks. Show is ugly and display is pretty. Has parameters for truncating both columns. Does not. Display does not. Okay. Has parameters for truncating both columns and rows. Show is a function of data frame dataset. Display works with different objects. Okay. This is very specific to this data frame dataset. Display is more powerful. With it, you can download the results as CSV, render line charts. Okay. Pros and cons. There are advantages and disadvantages. Limit. Show and display or access it. As a parameter display. Interest is the first transformation. Limit. Limited DF. Okay. Limits. If I set 10 here, okay, first 1000 records. Okay. Select schema. We already saw that in last. Transform the data from selecting only 3 columns with the transformation. This is select dot. Okay. 20 seconds. Select does not trigger resources. Transformation can step in long list of transformation. Show file. What is this false here? What does it do?
Which one, sir?
This one
Okay,
here.
this one. Okay, only three of dot show. Actually, this is the parameter, sir. We just have to read what is the second parameter in the show function it's being asked for.
Mm-hmm.
It's two parameters. First is the number and the second one is a boolean character. So we have passed false over here. So we just have to read it, sir. Let me give me some time. I'll just read it.
I still don't get it what this false is here.
Mm-hmm. Just a minute, sir. Show function is there, na? So I'm also searching this out. Give me a minute.
Show and yeah, for show. Yeah.
This is. Sir, this is. Can you show me the function, sir, once again?
You can see here this one show and the
Yes.
parameter as false.
Yes, sir. So see, what happens is that I searched it out. The Spark data frame show function is there,
Mm-hmm.
and like the syntax for the show function is that in one is truncate hyphen scala dot boolean. Sir, this is like it says that they just want to see only 3df dot show 5 false. Sir, this is like, would they what like they, if they would like to truncate the function, then they would
Mm-hmm.
have mentioned it as true, and if they don't want to truncate this function, then they would have mentioned false over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
see,
Okay.
so what exactly they have done from the complete row, they have
Yeah.
just chosen 5, and truncation is not being done on that side. Okay, so
Okay.
this is just to say truncate yes or truncate no.
Okay. Uh, let's see what happens. Okay. You see here the request.
Yes, sir.
The data is not changing, but I mean the way it's displaying is changing.
Yes, run it, sir. Now see, sir, when you are truncating
Alignment.
it, yeah, so it truncates, sir.
Okay.
Like whatever the extra data is, it is truncating. When you are saying it false, then it is not truncating. Just see, put it false, sir. Data will not change, sir. Data will not change because of the 5. Now run it. See, so what exactly it is doing, sir? It is truncating all the options, na? While putting the data into the column, it is truncating. See, the alignment is getting changed,
Yeah,
nothing else. Correct? So it is truncating all the spaces.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Exactly it does. So moving on to the next one.
Mhm.
I've dropped a column here. So data set is now reflecting only three columns, distinct and drop duplicates. So let's say what it does. Run print schema. The transformation distinct is applied to row as a whole. Uh, Generally, the distinct as any other distinct function, right?
Yes, sir.
Run and let's see. So we only having project here, and then we are only checking for distinct project data, data rows. Mm, 24 projects, drop duplicates. Okay, so and this one will drop duplicates. Distinct, total distinct, cache count. Okay, this is page counts. Create or replace temp view. As such, we can convert data frame into a temporary view. This is like, is this like a view in?
Yes, sir. This is just like a view.
Okay, good. So we are having SQL here again. Run. Everything is in here, but everything, the data that we have is all distinct, right? Twenty rows, same as in what we got here. So this is using SQL. This is using Spark, Python, sorry. Okay. Replace. Fill in with your code. Fill in. Read. Read in back. Fill in. What's happening here?
Okay, sir. So over here, you just have to you just have to write the code, sir, by yourself. By going through this, what should be the code over there that you just have to write over there, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just have to based on your requirement, you just have to replace this fill in with your code, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So uh, Raj sir, so should we start the next module now? Because
Yeah.
or
We can. Yeah.
yeah, we can start, or do you I think we still have around 1 hour, 1.5 hour of time to cover for 4 hours
Yeah.
also
We
today.
can go ahead. Yeah. We can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can go ahead,
Not a
correct?
problem.
Okay. So you just give me meanwhile you just go through this. I'm giving you 5 minutes, sir. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll be back on the call in 5 minutes. I just go to the washroom and I'll come back. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll start with the next topic. Okay, sir.
Sure. Yeah.
welcome back on the call, sir. Can we start?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Wonderful, sir. Okay. Now, sir, the next topic which we're gonna be discussing with you is that we're gonna be discussing about same data brick only, sir. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna be discussing data brick only. I will actually be showing you the same workspace. I will also be showing you the same notebook. I'll also be working on the same cluster, sir. Okay.
Okay.
But the point is that this time I'll actually be working with stream data, sir. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Instead
I'm
of batch. Okay.
yeah, instead of batch data, I'll actually be working with stream data. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that's what the change is. Okay, sir. Now, for that, like the module for this particular discussion is module number 11, sir. Last module of this particular training. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so that is what exactly we're gonna be discussing now. Okay, so just give me a minute, sir. Just a minute, sir. My PowerPoint is giving me some challenge. So this is the discussion what we're gonna be doing, sir. It opened up now. So I'll share my screen with you. Please let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yeah.
Just a minute. Okay, sir. So how exactly we can create a stream processing solution with Event Hub and Databricks? That's what it is. Okay. Now, sir, the new discussion, what we're gonna be doing is that what exactly is that particular piece of code which we're gonna be using in Azure Databricks to work with stream data, and why do we actually require Event Hub? Otherwise, details of this Databricks is already being known to you, correct? Like now you know how to use Databricks, what exactly a Databricks is, and all those things. So like over here we're gonna be having these three things. Okay, we'll see what exactly the sliding windows are, what exactly these key structures and features are, how exactly the stream data from a file writes it down to the distributed file system, connect to the event hub and all those things. So over here, understand the key features and the uses of structured streaming, sir. Understand this, sir. Why, like, if I want to, like, if I ask you a small question, sir, according to you, if somebody asks you for an example of streaming data, sir, now what exactly is the example of streaming data? Have you ever
Stream.
have you ever used a streaming data, sir?
I've never used it, but I know how what streaming data is. For example, uh, data directly coming in from applications, and um, for example, I mean what from AZ 900,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, DP 900 streaming data is, say, data coming from IoT devices,
Mm-hmm.
like weather applications, continuously applications which are monitoring a particular device or
Mm-hmm.
running on a particular device and getting these stats out, something like that.
Excellent, sir. Sir, this streaming data is not very is streaming data is being becoming a lot popular in the industry nowadays.
Hmm.
Correct? Any
Yep.
reason to it, sir? Means your view. I just want to take your view that how come this streaming data suddenly becomes so popular into the industry that we people have to learn working on the stream data. Otherwise, if I tell you frankly, sir, the streaming data 10 to 15 or 20 years back was only used by ATC department or NASA or ISRO or these kind of agencies, correct?
Yeah.
But nowadays, streaming data is being used by almost everybody in the world. So
Yeah.
what you feel that what this streaming data has brought into our life, sir?
Uh, so, I mean, streaming data is more. Uh, that's because they want to actually
Mm-hmm.
uh, process live data. Like for example, they don't want to process right at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make decisions quicker. For example, if there's a fraud transaction that's happening at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
they want to stop it then and there itself rather than actually looking at it in the evening or next day and flag it as okay, this is a fraud transaction. Instead, just have control on things that they would like to do.
Excellent, sir. That means that you actually get an option to automate your decisions, correct?
Yes.
As the example which you have given is very correct, sir. Instead of collecting the data for whole day and then somebody at the end of the day finds out that there is any fraud call or something is not there or not, they want
Mm,
it to be done immediately so that the decision can be automated. A machinery or a system can decide whether this call is fraud or not.
yeah.
Okay. Now over here, sir, this streaming data is being very, very, very flexible wherever the immediate decision making is being concerned. Okay, where
Yeah.
just like for example, you might have seen the lifts. Previously, there used to be some lifts where when we close the door manually, then only they start working. Correct.
Mm,
But right
yeah.
now, like in our modern day, in our modern time, what happens is that we have a lift which automatically closes its door. Now we have railway cabins or we have metro cabins like they where the door is being automatically closed. Correct.
Yeah.
Now what happens is, you might have seen in these places that suddenly if somebody comes in between the two doors which are closing, they suddenly moves away. Correct.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
lift. So
Sensors.
what is being
Yeah.
happen? Yeah, what is being happening, sir? There is a continuous communication happening between the sensor which is being installed on that gate of the lift and
Hmm.
to the mechanism which is actually is closing the door. So as
Yeah.
soon as it detects something in between, it sends the reverse signal to it and suggests them to open the door instead of closing it.
Yeah.
Correct, sir. So wherever the decision has to be taken immediately, okay,
Mm,
wherever the requirement is that I don't want to collect this data, I don't want to collect this, like I don't want to collect this data, I don't want to keep it data. Now sir, lift is not storing this data that when the door is being opened and when the door is being closed, correct?
yeah.
They are not recording this data. Okay, if they want to they can, but nobody requires that data. So definitely over here the everything is all about decision making. Okay,
Yeah.
over here the decision making can only be done when the data is processed. And that's the reason why, sir, whenever you are working with streaming data, over there the streaming data solutions is being considered as less storage consuming solutions, because my first intention is not to store the data for the future purposes. My first intention is to process it and see the result.
Okay.
Now, to store the data, to store the input data, or to store the output data, that can be my secondary concern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that can be my secondary concern, but that's not my primary concern. My primary concern will always be processing the data. So that's the reason why we have this, like we always consider this as fast options. Okay,
Okay.
now
Yeah.
over here, sir, on this particular slide itself, it's easily scalable. Okay, when more data is there, the streaming systems are easily scalable, sir. When data is more, then definitely more resources can be deployed very easily. If data is less, then we can just remove few of the resources out of it. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
now next is, see, this fault tolerance is there. The fault tolerance is being there like in all the systems nowadays, so it cannot be considered as a special point over here. Okay, because fault tolerance is being there in almost batch systems, stream systems, or any other system. We are actually creating the systems by using this fault tolerance technique only. That if something happens, okay, fault tolerance, what exactly we mean by fault tolerance over here is that if something happens to my system, there should be the minimum damage done to the data.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because machineries are there, you cannot trust them 100%, you cannot just make them fault free. So instead of making them fault free, we are actually started working on to make them fault tolerant. Tolerant means that if something happens anywhere, it should be tolerant enough to go through that particular situation instead of just going down completely.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happens, sir? You are actually like I gave you this example in the on the very first day itself. Sir, imagine a situation that if you are not, you don't have to imagine it, you use it every day actually. So there's a water pipeline which supplies water to your house, correct?
Yeah.
Now, sir, don't you think that's real time? Like whenever you open the tap, you get the water.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, sir, don't you think that that tap over there, if that tap over there is not there, then your house will be flooded with water, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Means if you don't have a mechanism to control it. Now, see, anyhow, the water is being coming 24 into 7 into 365. Correct.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
don't you think that it's not practically possible to use it every day or all the time? So when you don't require that water, sir, with the help of that particular tap, you control it, correct?
Yeah. That's
With the
right. Yeah.
help of that particular tab, you control it. That okay, now I want water, you simply open it up, and now I don't want water, you simply close it. So what exactly a tap is? Tap is just an interface from where you are actually getting the water in a controlled manner, correct?
Yeah.
Now, is tap generating the water?
No.
Is tap purifying the water?
Probably.
Yeah, but you can some small particles can be removed, but it is
Yeah.
like you'll never intend it to be clean, correct? It
Yes.
can do, but a tap will never be installed to clean the water,
Yeah. It's not.
correct?
I mean, filter as in full filter. It's not a full filter.
Yeah, it's not a full filter. It can only have some small like a small filter which can only take out the big pebbles only,
Yeah.
correct? It cannot remove the it can only remove the insoluble impurities, but soluble impurities cannot be removed by a tap, correct?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, sir, what exactly tap is being doing? Tap is just there to control the stream of water which is being coming towards your house.
Yeah.
And if tap is not there, that stream of water will keep on coming to your house and it will flood your house. So that means Whenever you are working with such kind of data which is continuously coming towards you, you require a controlling mechanism, sir. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, sir, not even the controlling mechanism. Sir, there is one pipeline which is getting inside your house. Correct?
Yeah. That's right.
You have
Yeah.
one main pipeline which is getting inside your house. But are you using the water only at one place in your house?
No, multiple places.
Multiple places. So that means that from that one particular inlet of water which is getting the water to your house, you have an internal arrangement of pipes and taps, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Which actually distributes the water to the different places in your house, be it
Yeah.
wash basins, be it washroom, be it kitchen, wherever you require the water, in the garden or like on the roof, wherever you require that water.
Mm.
Okay, wherever you require that water is being available through the pipelines and the plumbing setup what you have done in your house. Now understand this, sir. It can happen to the data as well, no?
Yes.
It can happen to the data as well. Now data is continuously coming. First of all, I want to control it. Otherwise, in some situations, I will be flooded with data. What will I do with it? And as we already discussed, that most of the streaming situations and most of the streaming solutions are actually not most of the streaming solutions are actually not what do we say, are 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 not even having some storages as well. So
Hmm.
if suddenly I get flooded with data, where would I keep it? I don't have any option for that. So
Yeah.
it's better that I should have a controlling mechanism where I'll control the data. Second thing,
Now.
as I told you, that water is something which is not being used at one place. So it might happen to data as well, sir. That let's say that you are getting data from one of the IoT devices, but you actually wants to provide that data to three consumers. Quite possible, sir. That data is actually coming from one source, but data
Yeah.
is actually required at three different consumers. Now,
Yes,
how
it is.
will you do that? How will you do that? Now, for that, sir, whenever we are working with stream data, we'll always be using a ingestion resource to achieve this particular objective,
Okay.
controlling the data and distributing it to the different resources.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happens, sir? That in this demonstration of mine, what exactly I'll be performing in front of you, you will see that I will be making use of Event Hub for that, sir.
Yeah.
So Event Hub is nothing but an ingestion mechanism that stands between the source of data and the consumer of data. Event Hub is being responsible for controlling the stream which they receives from the source and distributing it to the different data sources where all it is being required. Okay. So
Okay.
as in data break, because data break is a processing resource, I will be getting my data from Event Hub, and Event Hub will actually be getting it from the streaming application.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Now this is what exactly we're gonna be doing as part of this particular module. Now to generate the stream data, sir. Now to generate the stream data, I have a local application on my system. Okay, you can also have it. I'll just run that particular application on my system and it start generating stream data for me, continuous data. Okay, it will start
Mm.
generating data for me. Now once the data is being generated, I'll send that data to the Event Hub, and from Event Hub I'll read it into the data break, and in the data break I'll try and process it. Okay, sir, the
Yeah.
objective is clear what exactly I'll be performing.
Yeah.
Now this is what exactly I'll be doing, sir. Okay, so what exactly am I doing? You see this over here, sir. that this is one of my data source.
Okay.
This is one of my data source. Okay. Now this is also sending stream to me. So I'm just putting it into the event hub 1, then event hub 2. In the data
Okay.
brick,
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually be reading it from these two event hubs.
Mm-hmm.
And after the processing of data, I can put it anywhere, sir. XYZ.
Okay.
Okay. I am like I can send it to anywhere, sir.
Yeah.
Means because in the data brick I have to write the code. So I can put it in event hub as well. Sorry, I can put it back in event hub as well. I can put it on Cosmos DB as well, SQL database as well, or I can directly put it to Power BI as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can
Yeah.
directly put it to Power BI as well. So this is something what exactly a stream solution is. And in this particular stream solution, I will be using Databrick as processing resource, sir. Okay, Databrick as processing resource. Now, sir, what happens is that there are few sliding window like there are few windows available, sir. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what happens, sir, that let's say you might have seen this especially on Twitter. Twitter sounds the best example for that, sir. Okay. Now, sir, you might have seen that whenever you like you're there on Twitter, sir, you use it.
Mm, no, no, I'm there on Facebook, but not Twitter. No.
Not on Twitter. Now, what happens, sir? Twitter has a functionality that Twitter tells you that what exactly is trending today. Means
Okay.
that if somebody started, now thousands of people started talking about one particular issue on Twitter, now that trending is being shown over there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say that you achieve something brilliant. Okay. You decided like you did something brilliant and you posted it on the Twitter, and suddenly everybody started talking about that only. So soon
Okay.
you'll see that you will be marked as trending over there, sir.
Okay.
Now that trend keeps on changing, sir. It might happen that let's say, like let's say the new variant of COVID is being talked about a lot from 6 to 7, like from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, all around the world. So that shows the trend over there that this Omicron or this variant is being trending. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's say something happens. Suddenly something happens. Like if you remember, sir, you might have seen this in the news that suddenly one of our very senior leader of Indian Army is being expired due to a helicopter crash. I don't know whether you know that because it's there in the news. So what happens is that his helicopter crashed in Tamil Nadu itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So suddenly his helicopter crashed and everybody started talking about that. Everybody was confused whether he's alive or he's no more because he's our first chief of defense staff. So he's
Mm-hmm.
a very important dignitary, a government official, and he's one of the very favorite celebrity. It's actually a government official, but he is always there in the public domain as well. So everybody started talking about that. So suddenly, people on 22nd of December at 3 started talking about him. So how do Twitter gets to know, sir? How do Twitter gets to know that what exactly is being trending? Now that is what exactly they'll do with the help of these windows. Now, continuously people are tweeting or retweeting or mentioning some hashtag in their tweets, and a mechanism at the Twitter is continuously getting that feed. So, to decide whether which thing is being trending at this moment, they'll do it at every moment, sir. Every 5 minutes they are checking it, correct?
Yeah.
So, what exactly they will be doing? They will be reading the data in succession, sir. Okay, whatever tweets they have received from let's say 3 p.m. to 3 or 5 p.m., they'll review it and they'll find out which is the what exactly is the trending thing. Then again check What exactly is the trend from 305 to 3010? So even though they are getting the continuous data, still to find out what exactly is being trending, they have to review the data, correct?
Yeah.
You're getting my point, sir?
Yeah.
You have to review the data. To review the data, see, every time you cannot review the complete data, na?
Yeah.
You're getting my point, sir? Every time you
Yeah.
cannot review the complete data. So for that, guys, for that, sir, we have Windows option. Okay, we have
Yeah.
Windows option, and Windows option means that in this particular Windows option, whenever you are reading the stream, you can actually read that particular stream for a particular time frame as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's say I'm getting the continuous data, and in the
Mm-hmm.
continuous data somebody asked me, can you tell me what exactly is the shape and size, or any other parameter of the data which is being there with you from 1 a.m. to, sorry, 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what Windows is. That's what sliding Windows is. Okay, so
Yeah.
a very small discussion, sir. Now I would like to show you how exactly an event hub can be created. I would like to show how exactly data can be generated and sent to the event hub. And then I'll
Okay.
also would like to show how exactly you can read it through Databricks. Okay, from the
Sure.
event
Yeah.
hub. Okay, is the objective clear to you, sir?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, objective is clear to you, sir. So what exactly we'll do is we'll just a minute, sir. Sir, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Now, sir, before moving ahead, we just have to, like, before moving ahead, we just have to go ahead and talk about Event Hub. Okay, because if the Event Hub is not there, then definitely I'll not be able to ingest my data into the Databricks. Now, sir, Event Hub is not the only thing which you can use, because we have to choose one for our demonstration and explanation. So we choose Event Hub. Even IoT Hub is
Yeah.
there. Others are also there. Message Grid is there. Service Grid is there. So many things are there. Okay, so I'm here now. Before creating a event hub, I actually have to create, like, before creating the event hub, I actually have to create a event hub namespace. Okay, now if you remember, sir, storage account and Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 has to be created before creating a container, correct?
Yeah.
Containers cannot be created all alone, sir. In the same way, sir, that event hubs can also not be created in this particular manner. I need to have an event hub namespace for me, and then only inside that particular namespace I will be able to create the event hub. So first of all, I would be creating a event hub. Okay, I would
Yeah.
be creating a event hub first. Okay, now I have to repeat the same story over here. First of all, I have to select the proper subscription. Then I have to select the resource group for today's class. Then I have to provide the name of the event hub. Let's say sample hyphen event hub namespace hyphen Sandeep. I just have to select the location. Okay. Once the location is being selected, then I have to select the pricing tier. Now the difference between this pricing tier is you have three pricing tier: basic, standard, and premium. If you'll go for basic, okay, if you will go for basic, then you'll only be able to create one consumer group and you'll be able to have 100 brokered connection. Then you'll be like with standard you can go up to 20 and then premium up to 100. Now what exactly this consumer group is, I'll explain you when I'll use it. Okay, I'll explain you when I'll use it. So that's what the consumer group is. Now I'll select the standard one and we'll just discuss it when I'll use it, otherwise it will create a confusion.
Okay.
After that, I just have to provide that how much compute I would like to assign to this particular event hub namespace. Now, sir, there will be three factors according to which the selection of throughput units will be done. First factor is how many event hubs will you be created on that event hub namespace of yours? What is your plan? Will you be creating 1, 2, 3, 4? How many event hubs will you be creating on this event hub namespace of yours? That's first thing. Second
Yeah.
thing, how much data are you expecting to relay through event hubs? What exactly your data load is? Okay. Now let's say that I selected less throughput, but the expectation for the client is that we actually required a good amount of data to be processed in good time. So definitely for that, bigger throughput will be a bigger throughput will be applied. The third factor is that how fast do you want your data to be relayed? Based on that also the selection of this throughput unit has to be done. This throughput unit, as I have already told you, sir, is nothing but a measurement that how much compute is being required for this particular resource. Okay. Now what happens, sir? Okay. Now what happens is that I'll just go ahead and put three throughput units over here because I just have to create one particular container and my data load is also not high. Now you might be thinking that Sandeep, how do I know that what I am getting as a throughput unit? Sir, this is something which we have to bear with, and this is something which we learn from our experience, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Now what happens is Microsoft is not giving you a clear answer for this. If you ask me that how much compute is being provided to me as part of one throughput, me or anybody will not be able to answer that question. But what happens is, sir, that in our testing environment, in our staging environments, we take some resource with certain like with certain throughput units, and then try to run the business on it. And with the help of some modules, okay, with the help of some modules inside this particular event hub, and with the help of some other techniques, we'll find out whether the throughput unit which is being taken by my particular by my data is okay or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you can do, sir, that instead of just few things are there, sir, I've selected three. Now if you think that, let's say some of your teammate comes in and ask you that Raj, it's not enough, then you said no, yeah, I don't want to go more than three, but your teammate is saying that it is okay now, but after that it will be increased. So what you can do, you can go for auto inflate option, sir. Auto inflate option is nothing but scaling only.
Okay. So basically what we want to do is reduce the cost initially, but at the same
Yes.
time make sure that we will not less on our compute resources by the throughput units. So there's an option to scale up, and also there's an option to say, okay, this is the max. So
Yes,
okay,
sir.
but the thing is, say if you need more compute resources, if you are saying that okay, we need only 10, but unfortunately, if we require more than that, what will happen?
Sir, you can anytime change them accordingly. You
Oh,
don't have to delete this namespace and nothing. After the creation of this event hub namespace, okay, after the creation of this particular event hub namespace, you can actually go ahead and change it anytime, sir. If you are feeling it less, then change it. If you are feeling it more, then change it.
okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
with this, I don't want to go for auto inflate option, but I'll just click on review. And once the review is being done, I'll click on create and this event hub namespace will get created. Here it is. Now, once the event hub namespace is being created, sir, I will be creating a event hub on it. Okay. So we just have to wait for this to get deployed. And once, as I told you, sir, once this is being deployed, we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and create an event hub on it, sir. Raj sir, if you would like to take some break or something, because you're doing the lab as well now, so let me know whenever you require some coffee or you want to eat something. Or
No, no, I'm not going to eat anything, but probably. I mean, we can finish this off, and I have some work afterwards. So
okay, okay. So we'll just finish this off and then we can you can try the lab in your own luxury time then. I think that will be good because
I
labs
don't
is
have
same only.
luxury time, Sandeep.
Oh, you don't have okay, you don't have luxury time. Okay.
I have two kids. Uh, my luxury time is with them all the time.
Yes, sir. Even I too have two kids, sir. I understand your feeling. So how old are your
Whenever
kids, sir?
one is 8, another one is like 1.5 years.
Okay. See,
My
mine is
daughter is eight
mine is
years.
okay. Your daughter is 8 years old. So my
Sandeep,
mine 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 is both they both are boys. Like I have two sons, and one of them is 3 years old, and one of them is just 10 months old. And they both
I
is
can
like
understand. I can understand what you're. Both
what I'm
boys is
going through.
really tough. Both boys.
Yeah, both boys are really tough. They fight with each other a lot. Like even that baby is there now. Like he'll also fight a lot. I don't know from where they get that instinct.
They keep pulling the thing. My daughter is like obviously like big enough, right? So she will understand.
Mhm.
If he's taking it off, she will understand. But I think for a 3-year-old, it's tough to understand if yeah, if
Yes.
that 10 months old is started fighting.
Yeah, they were like what happens is like he started crawling now, so he is playing with some flashcard of his, so he'll put it
Yeah,
on the ground and then the second one will go and touch them. He thinks that he's taking them away. So
yeah.
why he's touching my flashcard? I said okay, okay, I'll get him new. Even though I'm getting new, he's only interested in those flashcards with which he is playing actually. So all these things is I understand, sir. Luxury is something which is like very far away.
Yeah.
So here we are, sir. That the event hub namespace is being created, and you can see that we have an option of event hub now. Can you see
Yeah.
over here on my screen that we have an option
Yeah.
of event hub? So I'll just click over here, sir. That this is we'll create the option of event hub and event hub. First of all, I just have to provide the name over here. Sample if an event hub hyphen Sandeep. The first one which I created is an event hub, sir. Now this one is the event hub. That was the event hub namespace, and this is event hub. Okay. Now at the event hub level, sir, this is what exactly where my data gonna be coming in. So as I told you, sir, the purpose of event hub is that it might require to distribute the data to the different consumers at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. So for that, sir, this is the option we have to use, partitioning. I can partition my event hub, sir. I can partition my event hub. Okay. Now, what exactly this is? When I say I can partition my event hub, this is that partitioning partitions are a data organization mechanism that relates to the downstream parallelism required in consuming applications. The number of partitions in an event hub directly relates to the number of congruent readers you expect to have. Means if 10 resources or 10 consumers wants to, okay, 10 consumers wants to read this particular data,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if 10 consumers wants to read this particular data, then definitely I need to have 10 partitions in my event hub. Okay, so
Yeah.
parallelly how many users wants to read my data, I need to have that much partitions only. So right now in my example only Databricks is there, nobody else is consuming the data, correct? Nobody
Yeah.
else is consuming the data, so I'll just have one partition. Okay, so
Yeah.
after that, sir, now if you, when we discussed about this, sir, so this event hub is nothing but standing between the source of the data and the consumer of the data, correct?
Yeah.
Now, what happens, sir, if the situation is that the source keeps on sending the data and consumers is not being able to consume it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the source keeps on sending the data and the consumers are not in a state to consume it straight away. So, what will happen to that particular data? Now, that particular data, sir, that particular data can be retained. Please understand, sir, it cannot be stored, it can be retained. Under this option, it's been clearly mentioned that the minimum time of retention is 1 day and the maximum time of retention is 7 days. After 7 days, the data will automatically be discarded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, means
Yeah.
the data will get discarded automatically. Okay,
Got it.
now let's say that you have a requirement to store the data, sir. Okay, it's not
Yeah.
like that, like it's not like that I have to retain it, because retain is temporary, correct? You cannot consider you cannot consider this retention. So when you like, you cannot retain it permanently.
Mm-hmm.
So to retain it or to store it permanently, we have an option called capture, sir. Now in this particular option of capture, you can actually store this incoming data of yours, whatever stream data is being coming in, you can
Mm-hmm.
actually store them on flat files, sir. And you can
Okay.
store it, as you can see, under time window, that every 5 minutes the data is being coming in. So I want the data from 12 a.m. to 12:05, like 12 a.m. to 12:05 a.m. I want my data to be kept over there in a file. And you can actually name that file as well. You can see these can be the name of the file, sir, like this. Okay,
Yeah.
so over here, this is a technique which can be used to permanently store the data for the future analytics. So I don't want to do that right now, sir. So I'll just switch it off. I just want to tell you about this feature and I'll click on create. Now, as soon as I click on create, sir, okay, as soon as I click on create, my event hub namespace is also being created. Sorry, event hub is being created and event hub namespace is also being created. And this is the home page of my event hub namespace. You can see it over here, sir. Can you see that the event hub is being listed over here now?
Yeah. In the namespace.
Yes, the event hub is being listed over here. Now see this. Okay, so over here, okay, over here, sir, now I'm inside the event hub. Now let's say, sir, that your event hub is being ready, your event hub namespace is ready, everything is being ready. Now let's say that you have to receive the data from somewhere, sir. Okay, you have to receive the data from somewhere. Now, how do you receive the data, sir? Definitely some connection mechanism has to be there, correct?
Yeah.
Otherwise, how do the application or how do the sensor or how do any device gets to know that they have to send the data to this event hub? There has to be some connection mechanism, correct?
Yeah.
So for that connection mechanism, I actually have to create a shared access policy on this particular event hub, sir. I'm inside this event hub and I'll create this shared access policy. Now this shared access policy is only being created to get the connection string, sir. Because connection string cannot be generated directly, I have to create a shared access policy by clicking on add over here and providing the name. Let's say I'll add sample policy. And then I just have to provide the claims over here. Claims means as part of this particular policy, I would like to generate a connection string. So can I use that connection string for both inlet and outlet of data? Or do I want to use it only for the inlet? Or do I want to use only for the outlet? So if I'll click on manage, then with the same connection string, I can actually put the data inside event hub and I can actually read it outside event hub. So incoming and outgoing data can be managed through single policy if I'll take the manage claim. Otherwise, if I would like to go ahead and do it separately, then I just have to go for send and listen separately. Okay, so I'll just click on create and a policy get created. And if I'll click on this policy, sir, now in this policy will give me a connection string. Can you see, sir? I have a connection string primary key.
Yeah.
Now, sir, this will be the connection string to send data to this particular event hub. Like you might have seen in the databases, now that we
Yeah.
just have to to if I want to get connected to the databases, I require a connection string for that. Otherwise, I won't be able to establish the connection. Okay.
Yeah.
I won't be able to establish the connection. So here I would be like over here. Please understand this, that this connection string will be used to establish the connection to this particular event hub and send the data to this event hub. Also, the same connection string will be used to establish the connection to this event hub and read the data out of this particular event hub. Okay, sir?
Yeah.
Any question, confusion till now?
Not really, no. I think once we start using this,
So what happens is, sir, that I'll copy it now. I'll copy the connection string. And now, sir, what I will be doing is I'll stop sharing my screen for a while and I'll reshare it with you because I would like to share the complete screen with you now. Okay? Because I'll be switching across the screens and I would like you to see that. So I'll stop sharing it and I'll immediately reshare it with the complete window, the complete screen. So you are able to see my screen once again?
Yeah.
Just a minute, sir. I'll reshare it. It was the presentation which was giving the problem. Okay, sir. So I have a streaming application running on my system, sir. Okay, I have a streaming application running on my system. Means not running. I have to run it right now. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So what happens is that here it is. The name of that particular application is data generator. So I'll go inside this data generator application and I'll edit the configuration file for this application, sir. Because why do I have to edit the configuration file, sir? Because I want that whatever data is being generated out of this particular application, I want it to be sent to my event hub, sir.
Event hub. Okay.
Yes. Now, sir, the connection string which I have copied from there, I'll actually be putting it over here, sir. Can you see this? I placed my connection string over here, sir. Name of this particular event hub is same only. I've used this name before as well. And this is the connection string which I copied from there, sir. Okay. This is the connection string which I copied. Now, over here, I'll just remove this last line. Now, this is not a rule, sir. This is because of this application. This application is a .NET console application, sir. It's not a it's not a Windows application. It's a console application.
Okay.
Okay. Now I have edited the configuration file of this particular application and I have to run it now. Okay. To run it, sir, first of all, I have to open up my console. I'll just go ahead and open a CMD in the administrative mode. So command prompt is being opened in the administrative mode. It got opened twice, so I'll close it once. Over here, sir, I just have to go to this, I just have to go to this particular place where this application exe is being placed. It's under E drive, and I'll just copy the path. Here it is. Here is the application is being placed. I'm here, sir. Now I have a command to run this particular application. Okay, so the command is also being here. I'll just copy this command over here, and so you're able to see my command prompt, correct?
Yeah.
And I ran it, sir. Now what exactly this application gonna be doing for me, sir? Can you see that it started generating some data for me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see, sir?
Yeah.
Now you see these telephone records which is getting generated out of this particular application, sir. They are actually being sent to my event hub directly.
Okay. Got it.
Now, can you see, sir? This is continuous and this is sample data, sir. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have any business meaning.
Yeah. 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 It's just a dummy application. That's
It's just a
great.
dummy application. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's creating this data, and as long as this application keeps on running, sir, it'll generate this kind of data.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, sir, ideally, if I'll go over here, I'll cancel this and I'll go to the event hub. I should started receiving the data, sir. Okay. I should started receiving the data over here. Now the number of requests which is being coming inside, the messages is being coming inside. You see this. These chart will show you how many incoming requests messages are there and how many outgoing are there. So outgoing is nothing because I'm not reading any data out of this event hub right now, correct? You're
Yeah.
getting
That's
my
right.
point,
Yeah.
sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing is being there. Nothing is being there which is going out of it. Right now I'm just getting inside it. So in sometimes like I'm on the event hub, like this is my event hub. If I'll go to the event hub namespace now, okay, it's not getting updated. Sir, soon it will get updated and you will be able to see the messages over here. Can you see this? No, 166 messages is being there, incoming messages.
Yeah.
Can you see that? You see some movement on the graph?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in the same way, now my application, this application has started sending data to my event hub, sir. Okay. This application has started sending data to my event hub. Done. Now, sir, I'll go back to that particular place and I'll go to the notebook over here. Okay. Now in the notebook, I see that my cluster is terminated because of the time limitation. I'll go inside compute. I'll go inside this particular compute option and see this option of start over here, and I'll start the cluster. Okay. Now my cluster is respinning. Okay. My cluster is respinning. Now when my cluster is while my cluster is respinning, I can go ahead and open the same notebook which I have used to perform batch processing, sir. Now this is the same notebook, sir.
Yeah.
Correct. Now
That's right. Yeah.
I'll just add a new cell over here, and I have a piece of code with me which will actually helps me to work with stream. Now see this over here, sir, that with the help of this piece of code over here, I'll actually be reading the information out of the event hub. The same information which is here, sir. Can you see 166 incoming messages? If I'll just refresh it, let me see if there is any change to it. Yes, sir. See, now it became 511. Correct. So
Yeah.
you can see that we are getting these messages. It's being displayed over here. I want to read these messages, but I want to read these messages through data break. Now for that, I need to connect to the event hub, sir. Correct.
Yeah.
Connection has to be there. Now, how do the connection will happen, sir? The connection will happen with the help of connection string only, correct?
Yeah.
So the connection string which I have used to send data inside the event hub, I'll also be using the same connection string to bring it out of event hub. Here I am. Okay. So what exactly is being happening? That my code is ready. Now in the first line, I am importing a library to work with event hubs. That's a library I have to import. Then after that, I am creating a connection string variable called connection string in which I am actually passing the connection string and the name of my event hub. Then after that, I'm creating a variable called event hub config in which I am actually using that particular connection string to okay, in which I'm actually making use of that particular connection string to start reading the to set up some parameters and establish the connection. And then, sir, again, I'm making use of df function spark.readStream format is equals to event hub, and then in options I'll just pause on this. Now this is this variable which I prepared before, and then I would like to load. Now whatever data is being coming in, I'm actually getting everything into stream input df. Now you see this, sir, that my cluster is ready. I'll just detach and reattach this particular notebook once again so that I can run this file. Okay. Now, if everything goes fine, then this code will be executed. But there is some problem, sir. Can you just go through this error and tell me, sir, what exactly the problem is? Any guess, sir?
Mm. So, so the so the data is coming into the from the event hub into Databricks, but uh, this has to be uh, this
Sir,
has to save somewhere, be saved somewhere,
no, no, sir.
or for
Do
example,
you,
this has to
sir, do you see this line, sir?
yeah
It says that
Spark dot
import,
event.
yeah, event hub. Like it says that import a library. Now, sir, this notebook doesn't have connect, like notebook doesn't have access to the internet, correct? So
Okay. Yeah.
what happens is that I just have to go ahead. Please see this. I just have to go to my cluster and I have to
Mm.
install this library on it, sir. Then only I'll be able to import it into my notebook, correct? Because this notebook does only have access to my cluster, nothing else.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, over here, I just have to install this library. Then only I'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, install new. I click on install new. Now, these are the options I have. I can upload the library if I have it already in the downloaded pattern, or I can just put it on some Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 and access it from there as well. You can just click over here and you can get it from the file path there, and Maven is something which I will be using. So I want to install this particular library com.microsoft azure.azure-event hub spark, and I click on install. Now the library got installed, means it's under process of installation. Now, sir, once my library get installed, okay, once my once my library get installed, after that, okay, after that I just have to restart my cluster. So to be very sure that my library is being installed properly or not, okay, and then if I'll rerun the same code, sir, the same code will execute fine. The only error which we received is that the only access what a notebook has is to reach a cluster, sir. And if cluster doesn't have any library, then from where it will import, sir? Correct.
Mm. Yeah.
So see, the library got installed, sir. Now, just to be very sure on this, I'll just restart my cluster once again. So it will take a minute of time to restart the cluster. And once my cluster get restarted, sir, I'll go back and I'll go back and like uh, I'll execute the same piece of code once again. So over here, sir, everything is being done. Now my cluster also get restarted. So I'll just go back to the same workspace and then to the same notebook. Here we are, sir. This is the piece of code which I would like to execute. Let me just reconnect, detach and reattach once again. And you see this, that I'll execute this. Now I haven't done any change in the code, sir. Correct? The code is exactly the same.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
sir,
right. Yeah.
yeah, exactly the same code get executed once again, and you are able to see that I'm actually started reading. I started reading the information from that particular event hub, sir. But you might be thinking that Sandeep, how do I know that you are actually reading it? or how do I know that there is no error or something? So we can just make use of the same data frame function called display. Just do this display and pass this to the display, and I'll re-execute this particular code. And this time you'll be able to see, sir, that I'm continuously reading the information from there. Just give it a minute, sir. It will start displaying things to you. Can you see, sir?
Yeah.
Focus on these rows, sir. 62, 71. So
Yeah.
this is, now you see the chain, sir. We started
Yes.
reading data from here. The data is getting generated on this particular application. Okay. The data is actually coming to this particular, like data is actually coming to this particular place. Now,
Event hub.
if I'll just, yeah, event hub. Now, if I'll refresh this, and you'll soon be able to see that outgoing messages are also there. Just give it, it's not so fast. Can you see, sir? Now 39 outgoing messages are there.
Yeah.
See this. Okay. And the data is actually being processed over here, sir. Now my complete stream is in this particular variable, sir. I can do whatever I want to do with it. Do anything you want to do with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So rest depends on my coding, sir. Now I got the data into the data break, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll keep on coming as long as I don't stop it, sir. As long as I don't stop it. This keeps on running, the data keeps on getting generated, everything will keep on running like this only.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So this is what exactly, and this is how exactly we're gonna be using this, we're gonna be using this particular data break as in streaming resource, sir. And this is what exactly module number 11 is for us. Okay. So we made
Yeah.
a very good progress today. We completed 2 modules, and with this, sir, we closed data break. Okay. So data break,
Okay.
how exactly delta architecture can be done, how exactly batch processing can be done through it, how exactly stream processing can be done through it. All those things is already being taken care of. So the next time, or maybe the tomorrow, when we'll start our session, we'll talk about stream snaps analytics now.
Yeah.
Okay. Individual components of snaps analytics. So now, sir, we if we'll take up the if we'll take up the 4 hours of session, so then also we still have around 20 minutes of time left. So please
Mm.
let me know, would you like to continue doing the lab for in that moment of time, or would you like to call it a day? That's your choice, sir.
Let's call it a day because I have something important this afternoon.
Okay, okay, sir.
Um,
Okay,
Tomorrow, what we can do
yeah,
is, I will let you know. I'll message you on WhatsApp.
okay, sir.
Most probably, I will sleep early and wake up early, so I should be in my bed by maximum 9 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll probably kind of uh, wake up early at 5:30, and
Mm-hmm.
we can actually try to catch up as early as possible so that your schedule or my schedule, especially your one, should not be disturbed because you might have plans for the new year. I don't want to disturb those plans. So let's
Thank you very much, sir. And
yeah,
let's do one thing, sir. You just message me on the WhatsApp, okay? And
yes,
as soon as you message me, like I'm expecting that we are connecting around 11:30 my time. So I'll be ready by that time. And as soon as you wake up and you are like you are good to go, just message me. We'll start this particular session immediately at that point of time only.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, sir, and we'll see each other tomorrow. And enjoy your rest of the day, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sandeep. Talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for a session
Sure.
today.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.